Hint, hint. But at the same time, when you go back and you look at that, you start to see the cycle of all of the modern day practices that are still existent today, starting back then. And this is why a lot of those books were removed. This is why a lot of those books were edited, or the portions that we still have remaining were altered. Because if you are aware of these things, you can no longer operate from a place of control, because now you know that you are not supposed to be under the dominion of anyone else. That means wages and cycles of work performance. You working 40 hours a week and thinking that designated time is worth the amount that they're specifying that you are worth. They don't determine your worth. He's already told you what your worth is. And so I know I'm speaking to somebody right now. This is confirmation for that person who has been struggling with staying at that role, staying in that role where you know you are not, you're just barely making it. You were given the light and the uniqueness that our Father in heaven created you with for the purpose of whatever it is that you carry, so that you don't have to struggle, so that you don't have to just work and barely survive. It's only by the way of conforming to the ways of the world, which he instructs us heavily in to steer away from. But when you flip that switch and you start to operate and conform to the ways of the world, now you're barely surviving. Now you're in a crisis. Now you're in a pandemic. Now you're in all of these things that you were warned about, scripturally speaking, prophetically speaking, that no one heeded to. They didn't heed the warnings. And so that is how you get to a system of the cycles of what we face today. We didn't listen. And so we kept up with the same cycles, the same generational cycles of bondage that were passed down from generation to generation, thinking that this was the right way. And so when you have people such as myself that tend to do things against the grain, you're looked at like you're odd. And you are odd because you're supposed to be odd. You're not supposed to be like a copy-paste version of someone. You're not supposed to be trained to do things robotically. He didn't create you to be a robot. You're a vessel, a tool to glorify and exemplify the works of his hand to the assignment that you've been called to. You don't need worldly validation for that. It's a trick of the mind. It's a psychological component to it that makes you think that, hey, I can do a little bit at a time. And now I'm being led to speak about how corporate works. And perhaps this is why he had me start off in corporate, because he knew my time in that realm would be short. But I was never comfortable with you giving me a dollar amount for the time